Welcome to Wrestler of the Week, week number 8. It pretty much works like this. If you are a professional wrestler and you had the most impact on the industry within the past 7 days, you will be named Wrestler of the Week. Every week there will be points tabulated, and at the end of the calendar year, whoever has the most points will be declared the male and female Wrestler of the Year. If you want to see what I use as criteria for Wrestler of the Week, be sure to check out my week 1 episode. This week was madness. Tournament wins, title defenses, and a most righteous beatdown to cap off one of the biggest episodes of Monday Night Raw ever. So let's just get into it and do the damn thing. First, the women and some honorable mentions. Mercedes Moné continues to make an impact on AEW television in her short time with the promotion, while timeless Toni Storm had a great and hilarious segment with Ben Mankiewicz from Turner Classic Movies. Deonna Purrazzo at the same time also is still having her hands full with Toni Storm as they still feud. And now the top 10 wrestlers of the week for the women. Kicking off the countdown at number 10 is Tam Nakano and Julia, who had one of the best matches at the Cinderella Tournament Finals that ended in a 15-minute draw as they threw some major bombs at each other and kicking out of finishers at one. I know that kind of fighting spirit isn't for everyone, but it is for me, and this match and the history behind these two worked in spades, and this is one of my favorite matches of the year so far. Tam Nakano continues on with the promotion, while Julia becomes one of wrestling's biggest free agents, and they find themselves at number 10. Number 9 is Candice LeRae from WWE, and I am digging her heel turn recently. This week on Raw, she wrestled a match against Ivy Nile where she faked an injury to defeat her, complete with feet on the ropes, while Indy Hartwell looked like someone kicked her puppy. Candice is one of the unsung heroes of the new women's division, someone who can work with anyone, and I am happy she is getting some shine on the main roster, and it feels like something between her and Indy will be brewing after WrestleMania, and I am excited to see what the former The Way stablemates have in store for us. The number 8 entry is Willow Nightingale from AEW, who defeated Anna Jay, Sky Blue, and Chris Statlander in a fatal 4-way and now looks to be the number 1 contender for Julia Hart's TBS title. I think I'm envisioning the end game here, where it is possible that Willow eventually takes down Julia Hart for the title, only to be conquered by Mercedes Moné, who is likely her biggest rival. I love me some Willow, and anytime she is utilized and treated as a major player, I am a happy camper. There seems to be something brewing with Willow, and it finds her in the number 8 spot on the countdown. Number 7 is Bianca Belair and Naomi, who are now very much embroiled in a feud with Damage Control, and that all came to a head this past Friday on SmackDown, where after defeating Dakota Kai, Bianca Belair found herself on the bad end of a beatdown before Naomi arrived to help. It took the appearance of Jade Cargill to help clean house, but now Belair and Naomi has their WrestleMania sights set, and what is even more interesting to me is that this feels like a couple things. 1, a way to keep Bianca's WrestleMania winning streak alive, and 2, to begin planting the seeds for a Jade-Bianca feud in the future. I am excited to see where things go, but we got Bianca Belair and Naomi coming in at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is MLW World Featherweight Champion Janai Kai, who defeated Unagi Saika to retain her title at MLW War Chamber in a very good match. We have Steph DeLander, who on TNA Impact won a fun 8-4-1 match to become number 1 contender to Jordan Grace's Knockouts title, and she is at number 5 on the countdown because of it. I don't think she will serve much of a threat as she came in to pretty much sub in for Ash by Elegance. And I feel the end game is really between Ash and Jordynne Grace, but for now, it is nice to see Delander back, and with her win on Impact, she finds herself at number 5 on the list. The number 4 entry belongs to Maika, who at Stardom Cinderella Tournament Finals defeated Utami Hayashishita to retain the World of Stardom Championship in a great match that saw the two throw lariat bombs at each other that nearly got to the time limit draw, but it saw a bunch of hammerlock drivers from Maika to secure the win. Maika is one of those names that will probably take Stardom into the future, and this was another example of Stardom being the place to go for Yoshi action. Maika comes in at number 4. The number 3 entry are our WrestleMania Women's main eventers, Becky Lynch and WWE Women's Champ Rhea Ripley, who had a face-off on Raw that devolved into a wild brawl that saw Dominic Mysterio get knocked out by Becky. On the SmackDown side, we saw Bayley attack WWE Women's Champ Io Sky at the end of an interview that went viral. WWE is fully committed to the main women's programs going into WrestleMania, and it is great to see the build for these feuds matching the scope of WrestleMania as an event. Our main female competitors for the major WWE women's titles at WrestleMania comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 is Jade Cargill, who made the most impact of the WWE women this week, officially debuting on SmackDown with a promo before inserting herself in the Damage Control, Bayley, Naomi, Bianca Belair angle by saving Naomi and Bianca from a beatdown, and now it looks like we have a 6-woman tag match set up for WrestleMania between Damage Control against Naomi, Bianca, and Jade. Jade just came off as a major star, and I am sure that this match at WrestleMania will be a showcase for her talents. But for now, Jade Cargill comes into the countdown at number 2. And the female wrestler of the week is Hanan from Stardom, who this past week won the Stardom Cinderella Tournament. She bested Ruaka in the semis before hitting a backdrop driver on Emi Sourei for the pin and the tournament win. Hanan is viewed as the future of Stardom, and this is a hell of a stepping stone to tie her future on. Hanan is still very young and has a whole world ahead of her, but our female wrestler of the week is Hanan from Stardom. Congratulations. And now to the men and some honorable mentions. Alex Shelley defeated Ace Austin to retain his Revolver Championship. Jey Uso had a memorable Monday Night Raw, defeating Shinsuke Nakamura in a wild main event match that saw pretty much everyone in the Bloodline storyline participating. We got a great video package on the Carmelo Hayes Trick Williams feud leading into Stand and Deliver. Bronson Reed took out Sami Zayn to derail his momentum going into the IC title match with Gunther, and may have set himself up as a future Intercontinental title contender. And we got the Young Bucks and Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta all advancing in the AEW Tag Team title tournament. Finally, the top 10 male wrestlers of the week. Kicking off the countdown at number 10 are the NXT Tag Champs, the Wolf Dogs, who defeated Alpha Academy on NXT in a very good non-title match. At number 9 are the teams that have all qualified for the WrestleMania 6-pack ladder match. Pretty Deadly, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and the New Catch Republic all qualified and will meet DIY, The Awesome Truth, and The Judgment Day at WrestleMania, and this ladder match has the potential to be an absolute banger. NXT World Champ Ilya Dragunov finds himself in the number 8 spot, winning a match against Tony Stacks to prep him for his title match against Tony D'Angelo at Stand and Deliver. Now, even though I admit Tony D'Angelo has grown on me, he really doesn't strike me as much of a credible threat to Ilya, who took Tony Stacks out with ease, and it does feel like we may be in more of a holding pattern for Ilya until after Stand and Deliver, but it was great seeing the dominant Dragunov back on NXT television wrecking bitches. The number 7 spot goes to Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay from AEW, who both won major matches this week. First, Strickland defeated A-Game Konosuke Takeshita in an amazing main event on Dynamite to continue his build towards facing Samoa Joe for the AEW World Heavyweight title at AEW Dynasty, while Will Ospreay had a hell of a time besting Katsuyori Shibata to prep for his match against Bryan Danielson at AEW Dynasty as well. Both wins were huge to build momentum, and it is clear that AEW wants to build them up to look like major threats. Also, can we just say we live in a world where Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay is an actual possibility? 2024 is wildin' out. The number 6 entry belongs to Ring of Honor Men's World Television Champ Kyle Fletcher, who on Ring of Honor Television would defeat Blake Christian in a good match, continuing his reign. Matt Riddle comes in at number 5, who retained his New Japan World Television Championship title against Kosi Fujita in a very good match at MLW War Chamber. Riddle continues to rebuild his stock and credibility on the independent scene, and it will be interesting how far he takes this tour, as it does feel like Riddle is really enjoying his time before making a potential comeback to WWE. The number 4 entry belongs to Roderick Strong, who on AEW Rampage would defeat Matt Maynard to retain the AEW International title. Let's see if Strong becomes as much of a fighting champ as Orange Cassidy was when he was champion. We got Cody Rhodes at number 3, and what a Monday Night Raw he had. First, he was interrupted by The Rock as Cody got everyone to point at the Mania sign. He would then arrive to aid Jey Uso in the main event match between Jey and Shinsuke Nakamura when Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa came out to interfere. But the real shit came in as The Rock absolutely obliterated Cody in the ring. This beatdown was phenomenal. But if Cody didn't come off as a great babyface to take this beatdown, this segment would only half work. But Cody's expressions and his whole demeanor this Monday was the Cody Rhodes people will be cheering their asses for next week. It takes 2 to tango, and Cody Rhodes is the yin to another's yang. The American Nightmare finds himself at number 3. The number 2 entry goes to CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth freaking Rollins, who on any other week would have taken the number 1 spot, but this was just one of the top 5 best Raws of all time. Punk, Drew, and Seth cut one of the best promos in years, a 3-way war of words that saw Drew murk Punk, saying he spends a lot of time in rehab for someone who is straight edge. Punk daring Drew to name the person who gave him the Chosen One moniker, and Seth eventually standing tall as he delivered a super kick to Drew McIntyre, who for the first time in this feud took his eyes off the ball. This was one of the single best promos WWE has done in years. It felt real, it felt fresh, it felt spontaneous, and most importantly, it sold the audience on the World Heavyweight title match between Seth and Drew, and now with the wrinkle of Punk being on commentary, anything can and probably will happen in their match at WrestleMania. What a fucking segment. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth freaking Rollins are number 2. And the wrestler of the week for week number 8 is the Brahma Bull and the final boss, The Rock, who made a surprise appearance on Monday Night Raw and left a major impact. First, whispering something very cryptic at Cody Rhodes at the top of the show, then ending on one of the greatest beatdowns in wrestling history, destroying Cody Rhodes in the ring, splitting him open, and smearing his blood on a weight belt The Rock promised to give to Cody Rhodes' mother. This was the most menacing The Rock has ever looked, and if we needed any more reason to see him get his ass kicked, it was this segment right here. The Rock is so fucking good at what he does that when he is ready to turn it up, he is near untouchable. This was the capper to one of the best Monday Night Raws of all time, and this was a Wrestler of the Week award that was truly earned. So yeah, The Rock is our male Wrestler of the Week. And here are the weekly standings for the men and the women. What a week this was, and we are officially 1 week away from the biggest show of the year. I will be posting up post-WrestleMania live discussions and chats for everyone, and I will be also posting a post-WrestleMania sized Wrestler of the Week on the Monday after WrestleMania, so look out for that as well. What did you think of my choices for Wrestler of the Week? Do you agree or disagree with my rankings? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.